Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, hello,
Happy
hello.
Sunday,
Happy
everyone.
Sunday, everybody.
How y'all doing out there today? Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself.
Great, great,
Good.
great.
Yep. Is it not too loud? Because
No, it's
you say,
fine.
oh, you're blowing my eardrums.
No, that was before. You know what it is when you have these inner ear in
Mm,
here, earphones. It's inner ear. It's in your ear. The noise.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on the Goddess Podcast, Real and Raw.
Mhm.
My name is Pedro,
My name is Tara.
and we want to thank everybody for joining us. Today we're gonna have a special guest coming up in a bit. His name is Dereck. Why did
Mm.
all of a sudden I lost his name?
Derek, Mr. Dereck
There
Reynolds.
we go, Dereck Reynolds. I've been saying to myself, Dereck Reynolds, Dereck Reynolds, Dereck Reynolds, and then when I get to them, like Derek, I want to say
You never
Hughes.
been good at remembering
I'm
names.
bad at remembering names. That's true. True to my old age, old age, old
Oh, blame
age.
it on the age.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna blame it on the age. Why is it?
Yeah.
It's kind of
What happened?
something bright like my face. You
Well,
see how
then
like
turn your
I'm
light off then.
what light?
Your light that's on.
No, this light is you turn this. You change this light.
Yeah.
Stop changing my lights.
Just turn it off. And it's fine.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how was your week been?
My week was good. Um, I think from the London trip, I was really busted. This week was hard, like driving.
Right, right,
I was
right.
really tired. I had a couple of nights where
You was burnt.
I was burnt. I was gone.
Yeah. It
Something still
happens.
not, I don't know what it is, but whatever.
Yeah.
We
It's
have
you
to
know what?
figure.
It's the camera. It's the camera that we're using. It's different than the one that we normally use. Just leave the light on. It's fine. Yeah, just leave it there. You'll be good. Yeah, yeah. Other than your driving hard.
It was a lot of driving. I did over 1,000 miles in like 5 days. I'm like, sheesh. So I was like, man, it was just rough this week.
Mm.
But I made it through, got the rest.
Yeah.
So didn't even look at the car yesterday.
That's a
Only
good thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But others for that, my week was good. How was your week?
It's hot.
I know. They say to you, everybody and their mothers outside today, boy. I'm like, Lord, I went outside to go to the grocery store, and then I went to go visit a family member, and like normally her block would be like cars.
Yeah.
There was not a car inside. Everybody was gone.
People out there
She
enjoying the
said everybody
sun.
was out there pushing the car, pushing the baby, walking the dog, riding
Yeah.
the bike.
Yeah.
Like, when it gets hot over here, they go all out.
Well, you have to take advantage of the sun in the UK because we don't get much of it. You get what I'm saying?
Listen, like I told
It's
this
more
one lady,
rain
was
and
I told this
snow and
one
cold
lady, I
days.
ain't looking for the sun. I'm looking for the rain. So
I like it when it rain. It don't like it's like a heavy. It's just a consistent, drizzle.
yeah, it's
You
very,
know,
very light.
but now I enjoy it. I enjoy walking in the drizzle, give you a nice little cool breeze.
Hmm.
But this heat over here, and because just no air, it's no what it is. What it is, you don't have no air conditioning. Acon.
No, air conditioning, but the humidity is over here is not as bad either. But it was hot today.
Yeah.
It was definitely hot today. So I'm like,
And
whoo.
it's hot in our bedroom.
Yeah, but that's
Oh
only
my
because we have the
gosh.
issue going on with the boiler that we're trying to
Right.
get fixed. If
Hmm.
that issue,
But
uh,
even still, the heat rises. So it's
yeah.
just because our room is
Well,
in
we
the
can always move down here.
no, I'm good. I ain't finna move anything. You hardly hate moving yourself.
I know, but I move it for the coolness. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't like it because it is underneath, so is the basement, so it doesn't really.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't like it for that reason.
Yeah,
You like upstairs because of the fresh air.
I do.
Yeah, but
I truly
that
do.
side of the house too is hot
Yeah.
because Junior's room would be cool. The air comes in that way for some reason.
Yeah.
That's weird because that's all the buildings are, but yet the air comes in from his side of the
I
house.
think it just depends on what day the wind want to blow. It can blow in the girl's room and it's nice and cool, then it's hot in his room. So it's just vice versa. You just never know what you're gonna get,
Nope, not around here in the UK.
honestly. Right.
And they
So
don't even have ceiling fans. I was thinking we could have ceiling fans, something.
yeah, maybe some of the newer houses have it.
Who knows?
Yeah. So
Nah, not really. I've been in new houses. Nobody, they don't do ceiling fans here either.
oh.
They don't believe in that.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Shoot, man.
So otherwise for that, everything else has been good.
Everything been
Oh,
good.
we did. You released your new single
I released my new single
on time. We did
on
it July
time,
4th.
July 5th.
Sorry, July 5th. Yep.
Get it straight.
On time.
And
Yes.
also, it's on bandcamp.com. However, It's going to be on there for the next couple of weeks. And then on August 5th, it's going to go live everywhere. So you can, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, all of those platforms. My song will be on there on time. And I hope you guys enjoying it so far.
Yep.
I
But we would still like you to go on Bandcamp and order it. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
$3, three US or £3.
right.
And we
Yeah.
tried to keep it low,
Yeah,
but we
support your
just want,
girl. Support your
yeah,
girl.
support the wife, support the wife.
So I
Yeah.
can go back in the studio and do some things. I got a lot of things in mind that I want to do for my next. I actually want to do an
Mhm.
EP next, or even if not that, maybe another single. But I'm just trying different things, trying different songs that I'm writing. And songwriting is, I'm gonna say, it's not hard, but it's just knowing your niche, knowing which, what make people come draw them in, with your
Mhm.
writing. So that's something that I'm trying out, and I just pray God continue to lead the way, and I continue to make music, what I
Yeah.
love to do.
And either way, God will still bless us, and we figure out a way. We figured out this single,
Yeah.
so we'll figure it out again.
And the
Because
best
Lord
thing,
knows,
about it, sorry to cut you off, is that God brought the right people at the right time. It's
yeah,
amazing how God can bring the right people to you at the right time to do the things, to do His work.
yeah, but it
You
still
know,
costs money,
it costs money, but
money, money, money,
He provides.
money,
He provides, and He provided for us to do
money.
what we needed to do with getting a single done. So it
Oh
is what
yeah,
it
oh
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Quit always complaining about
I
money.
am not complaining about money. I just said that it costs money.
Well, everything costs money.
I know that. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm on hands and knees, but not begging, but pleading.
No, but see,
Support a sister.
you don't have to beg people.
I'm not
Because
begging.
when
I'm
people
not
want to
begging.
give,
I'm
they'll give
teasing
because they
actually,
want
Kyle.
to.
I don't even like asking people really.
Hmm.
But I am, if you feel in your heart,
Yeah.
help us out. Because we definitely will use it towards the ministry.
Definitely, definitely. You
Definitely.
ready for this week?
Uh, what's this week?
I don't know. It's a new week.
Yeah, I'm just ready for the week, whatever it takes. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
excited because we got 2 more weeks to go, and then I'll be off for 10 days.
Mm.
So
You get a break.
we actually, on that note, we are going to start doing some pre-recorded shows.
Yeah, we are.
So sometimes we will be live, and sometimes we will be pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Reason being is that in 2 weeks, my son is coming from New York, and I'm going to take those 10 days off from work.
Yeah.
And I don't plan to do anything but spend the time with my son because
Yeah.
I have not seen him since March,
Yeah. A
February
2000.
of 2009 in person. I've seen him on FaceTime,
Right.
but I haven't seen him since 2009
Yeah.
because my situation being deported here.
Mm.
So back to Bermuda actually.
Yeah.
So I definitely will be kind of incognito, and I will be taking a sabbatical for
Sabbatical.
sure. So we're going to do some pre-recorded stuff so that we can have it out. But like I said, we will
Right.
be doing, and for the future too, just doing some pre-recorded stuff
Mm.
to make it easier for us for the weekend.
Yeah.
Because especially with the summertime, there's just so much going on
Yeah.
in the summertime,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are away.
And we need to get out more.
And we need to get out more with the children. We need to start doing
Mm.
so now that the sun is coming out, as they say.
Yeah. Take advantage of this sun. Yo,
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Whatever. It's not. It's not all cracked up to be.
Yeah. Anything in the news that's popping?
No, because if I talk about the news, we could be talking for another hour because it's just that infuriating. So no,
No. Okay.
no, I don't even want to talk about it. People know what's going on in the news. I mean, right now, well, over here in the UK, Boris Johnson has resigned. I don't think he's left office though. He's the prime minister, kind of like I don't know if he's a president of the. Yeah, he's a
You'll
president
be
of
considered
the UK.
something like
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, he's resigned, and so
Mm.
now they're talking about who's going to take over for him.
Mm.
In the U.S., of course, you know that young man that shot up all those people, killed 6 people, and then the young black man that got shot 60 times, shot at 90 times, hit 60 times.
Mercy.
Like I said, I don't even. Yeah, is
That's sad.
we talk about till we're blue in the face, and it just doesn't change because the narrative is always the same. They, I don't know. We seem to be very dangerous as black people in this world,
Mm.
and that's all I'm gonna say.
Mercy.
I'm not even gonna go there, so I'm just gonna leave it right there because,
Yeah.
like I said, that could be a whole show in itself.
Yeah.
growing up to be a black man in this country, even in the UK.
Even in the UK, I'm about to
Yeah.
say, it may not be as loud as it is in the US, but it's prevalent here
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's just in an undertone way that you receive the racism, as a black person, and not just a black person, maybe another type of a race as well. So, we all dealing with different things. It's a hard thing to deal with, but it is what it is when it comes to that. And we just have to be strong and continue to pray, and
Oh yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
you can do.
That's what we can do.
Because there's so much hate in the world. Like, why I got to be like that?
I don't know.
You know?
It's not even hate. It's fear. It's like, why you gotta be so fearful of somebody
Mm,
because of the color of their skin?
yeah.
I just don't understand.
I think it's all set into with hate as well. I think, people just hate you just for no reason, and it could just be just because you are you, and they just don't like things about you. So,
Yeah, I can see that.
it's strong. It's strong for
I can
sure.
see that. Definitely.
Hmm.
I'm pouring this water in a cup because every time I drink from the bottom, it makes
It
all
make
this
a
noise.
whole crunch.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm like, ah.
It make the crunchy noise.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pour it in a cup,
Yeah,
and that way I stop making noise when I drink my water.
yeah, yeah.
See, I do drink water.
Mm.
My wife says I don't drink.
Look, I just said make sure you drink enough so you can stay hydrated.
Yeah, yeah.
You
All right.
knew. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he's there.
yeah.
So without further ado, we want to
Wait
get
a
on
minute.
to the show. Again, thank everybody for joining us. We're going to be interviewing Dereck Reynolds.
Hmm.
He is the founder of Hug a Dad. He's also done some other things. Uh, I think he ran for a District 6
Yeah.
and Wichita. What
I
I
don't
can't
think
even
you're
say
saying
that.
the name right. Wichita. Wichita, Kansas.
Yep, city council candidate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he's, like I say, he's a founder of Hug a Dad, which is a foundation that helps men deal with different things in life with their children, with the courts,
Hmm.
and with their situations, whatever situation they're in.
Right,
But we're gonna let him get into that and tell us about that.
right. Let y'all
So,
meet him.
well,
So we want to bring him on.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, right, right. You did say that. Hi, Derek.
Hello, how you doing?
All right.
All right, all right.
You're a little dark there. You got some light.
Yeah, let me get some light. Hold on.
Okay. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Can you hear yourself in thing, Pete? Yeah.
Say it again.
I was just making sure you can hear yourself.
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Hey, now we can see you. How
How
you
you doing?
doing?
You
I'm
doing good? How
good.
about
How are
yourself?
you?
How
All
you doing,
right.
sir?
Good.
Yes,
All right.
yes. All right.
Good to have you
Good.
with us.
Yeah, good to see y'all. Nice to
You
be
can hear
on.
us
Thank
pretty well.
you. Yeah, I can hear you very well. Thank you.
Oh, great, great.
Cool. We can hear you well too. That's good. So Derek reached out. He reached out to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tyler's been saying if anybody wants to come onto the podcast and talk, please reach out to us, and we'd be happy to have you on. And Derek was one of the first people to reach out to us.
Yeah.
So we thought I never even heard of the foundation that you have. I never even heard of it. I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Thank
So
you.
we was like,
Appreciate
we got
that.
to get him. We got to get him on and talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Appreciate
right
that.
off the back, would you just like to introduce yourself so that everybody can know who you are?
Yeah, my name is Dereck Reynolds. Like you said, I'm the founder of the Hug a Dad Foundation. Born and
Mhm.
raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been living in Wichita, Kansas for about 6 years now, and
Okay.
you know, I'm happy to be on the show.
Oh,
Cool.
awesome. Awesome. We happy to have you here. So I've been looking you up and all the stuff that you do. You're doing some amazing things, helping fathers that need to be helped, single fathers, I would say, that's out there. So what made you start the foundation?
Actually, real quick before you answer that
Oh,
question, when, like, what made you start? But when did, like, when, what year?
oh yeah, what year you
I'm
started?
sorry.
I started November 2020 during the pandemic.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Um, let's see. So my son was born 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was having difficulties just getting what I thought was basic rights for my son when I was
Right.
going to family court.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that I thought that my situation was the worst. I seen that there was a lot of fathers having um, way worse situations than mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt like something needed to be done. I wanted to add to whatever what was going on at the time. I
Right.
didn't know about any other fatherhood groups. I
Right.
didn't know what anybody else had, but I had ideas. I had feelings, things that I felt was going wrong,
Right.
and I just wanted to add my 2 cents to it. So I just started writing down how I felt, writing down my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how the website. I mean, yeah, that's how the website came about. And
Right.
well, at first, I was trying to get the news to recognize that dads were having trouble with the family court system, and no one in
Right.
the news really wanted to hear me. So
Right.
I figured if I started a foundation, then there would be something for me to go up and talk about and things like that. I figured more people would be willing to, or be interested in that. And I
Right.
started the foundation, and so I've been going from there. So that's how it started.
Wow. The pandemic opened up a lot of doors for some people.
So yeah, I can what's the word? I
A
can
test.
attest, or I can understand what you went through, because
Mm-hmm.
I went through that. Like, where were you about 15 years ago,
Right.
20 years ago? Because I went through that same problem with the courts, with my son and my ex-wives, and I it was very frustrating, because it's like you do all the right things, you do the things you're supposed to do, and you still don't get the support or the recognition like that you need. Like, I make that joke all the time. Like, even with the schools now, I could go to the school and I can do all the things for my child, and when they send home the letter, the only person that it is addressed to is my wife. They don't even like acknowledge me, like that I'm even though I just set up the whole thing.
Right.
um I did do one thing that was unheard of, well, back in the day. um my ex-wife and I, we had a real good relationship, and she met my wife, and I was on child support, and we actually had sat down and had an adult conversation, and she actually, which people thought was weird or crazy, but she actually took me off. She actually went in front of the judge and took me off child support. And even the judge was like, "Are you sure?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he was almost like, the judge didn't want to do it. And she was like, "Well, he's taking care of his son, so I don't need,
Right.
the money like that. He gives it to me directly. I don't to wait, because I don't know how it is in the States now. Like, when you pay, you have to pay, then it has to go to a company, then the company cuts the check, and then they send it to the woman,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right? Is it still like that? Because I've been in the States since '09.
Yep.
Okay, right.
You're on the card.
So yeah, so she was like, to cut out the middleman, he'll just give me the money directly. So she actually took me off child support. Well, back then, this was about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No, not 20, 15, because we only been married 17.
Yeah.
About 15 years ago, people is not that's unheard of. But beyond all of that, I like, what do you provide, like, for the men that are going through these situations? Do you have like counseling? Do you have group sessions? Do you have meetings?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We provide group meetings. My mentor, he's the founder of Dad's Care too. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Fauntleroy. Uh,
Okay.
he's been doing this for a long time, since about '08, and
Right.
he's been having these meetings. And I started my foundation, and I met him, and I started going to his weekly meetings, and
Right.
I've been able to gain from his weekly meetings myself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm newly married, and I have 3 children. I have
Right.
two with my wife. My oldest son is the one I've been fighting for in court, and
Right.
yeah, I've learned a lot. I've been able to gain a lot from going and talking to men who've been married for 10, 15 plus, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Men who've been a lot of things that I felt that I was going through, also within my marriage. I'm thinking
Right.
it's on me, and other men like, no, we going through it, and we still going through it 20 years in. It's
Wow.
just something that you go through.
Right.
And what I learned is a lot of times, we be ready. We get something happen, and we be ready to just go. We be ready to quit the relationship so easily. You
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
like we got all these different sayings, like we don't catch feelings, we catch flights and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like the first thing we want to do is run
Yeah.
as soon as something get difficult, myself
Hmm.
included.
Right.
And we have to stick around. We gotta work these things out because
Hmm.
it's not a lot of these things aren't really worth ending a relationship over. But
Yeah.
we
Mm-hmm.
so used to just, oh yeah, like we got all these songs is like part of the culture. Ain't nothing to cut a B off or whatever like that. Like we just
Right.
that's
Right.
what we do.
Hmm.
We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to seem like that. So we're in the relationship quick. And what we got to start doing is start working on these things. We got to start finding people that we that we vibe with. We have
Right.
a good vibe with. We have good chemistry with,
Yeah. Good
so that we can
connection.
stay together. So we can stay
Hmm.
together. So we can raise our kids together. Because
Hmm.
then we break up, and then that's when family court thrives. Because family lawyers, family court, these judges, they don't make the system doesn't make any money if we work things out.
Oh no, you're right.
You're right
If
about that
we
one.
if we work things out, if we stay together, or if we're able to co-parent, you
Right.
know, um, family court don't make no money, and
Mm-mm.
that's why that's why I don't like when we go to family court and they say it's the best interest of the child, but
Mm-mm.
nothing about
Hmm.
this process is the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not. I mean, unless you got like a dad, who's being abusive or things like that, which do
Right.
happen. I don't want to take
Yeah.
away from it, but
Right.
if we talking about just going in there and you just got a mom who's making these allegations unfounded and just being ridiculous with it, and they'll
Right.
still put you through the hoops as a man. They'll make you jump through the hoops. Um, even if she don't have any evidence, even if it's not true, it's
Right.
just very difficult. And that was something that I cared about, because how do we learn how to navigate this?
Yes.
If the mothers are able to keep the fathers away from our kids, when
Yeah.
our sons grow up to be us. So
Yeah. That's true.
what if he goes to family court? You know, who's going to teach him how to navigate this? It's not
Right.
going to be you, because you're not going to know, because
Hmm.
everything you do in family court is dominate. He's not going to get the same respect that you got. He needs
Right.
to be talking to somebody who's gonna who shares his experiences, because as
Hmm.
the mother, you just don't share the same experiences as him.
You
So
don't.
so you know, I just feel like what we want to do is we want to educate dads. I always tell dads that I'm not an attorney, but
Yeah.
one thing I will do is I'll set you up to where you won't fall for the same things that I fell for. They won't
Right.
be able to get over on you like they got over on me without you
Hmm.
addressing it. You know,
Right.
I'll hit you to the game that I fell for, and when you go there on a bigger platform. You go there with a step up, and then let's say you do well, then
Hmm.
and I've had dads do well. I've helped at least two dads do well in family court, and
Right.
they got more than what I got. So for me,
Hmm.
that's an accomplishment, because
Yeah.
I was able to give
Definitely.
them something, and they took from it, and they did what they were supposed to do. Now, what I tell
Mm.
them, because I would never charge anybody for any of these services like this, but what I
Right.
do tell them is, if I would charge you one thing, just pass on that information that you learned, the
Right.
information that I gave you, and the information that you learned on your own. Pass it on to
Hmm.
somebody else, and
Right.
that's how we continue to grow. We keep passing on this information. We keep helping each other. We become stronger as a community, because we don't
Definitely.
always need attorneys. We can go to family court and represent ourselves. I'm pro se.
Right.
I had an attorney I was paying, and there's a lot of things that I got done that I couldn't get done with my attorney. My
Right.
last name didn't get hyphenated onto my son's last name until I went pro se and I went and defended myself. So,
Right.
we try to tell dads, don't be nervous to defend yourself. We can get you ready. We can do some court prep, and
Right.
we can work on some stuff. We can write some stuff up, and you can go in there and talk and speak for yourself, defend
Right.
yourself, and
Mhm.
don't pay these people because we paying these people all this money.
Mhm.
I know guys who pay 10,000, 15,000, and they
Mm.
still
Wow.
get
Wow.
every other weekend. They still, trying to see their son. They still, like, what are we paying these people for?
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with that. Have you ever thought of branching out from the U.S.? Because I'll be honest, my job I work for, I do drug testing, and the drug testing a lot of times is based on family services.
Okay,
So I've met a lot of men out there that like what you just said. The woman, they left the woman or they had an issue or something, and the woman is mad, so she starts saying all this stuff about them. And to be fair, the men, some of the men do it to the women too, but more women do it to the men.
of
And
course.
I met a guy that had 3 heart attacks in like 2 weeks
Wow.
because he's so stressed over trying to get his children back
You say
because
you
his
what?
he had 3 heart attacks in 2 weeks.
Mm.
He had 3 heart attacks because he was so stressed over trying to get his children back and going to the court and pretty much getting the runaround. Even out here in the UK, getting the runaround.
Mhm.
Um, like a lot of the guys I meet are going through what you just said, and it's making me think like, well, there's a way. I wish there was a way to do something like that out here, because
Man, I would.
even in the UK, it's definitely
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of single.
there's a lot of single parents out here, and a
Mhm.
lot of single dads, a lot of single moms, but a lot of single dads more than anything, and they're going through that same stuff that you're going through, where they're getting that bad information or they're not getting the proper information, and they're getting beat around the bush and trying to get their kids back, and they're jumping through hoops just like you was talking about,
I would love
to get the
to
children back.
to branch out to the UK, man. I mean, I want
That would
to.
be great.
If it was up to me, if it was up to me, I would go to every country, every city, every continent, every place to
Right.
try to make this change because
Right.
I just want to see us fathers be able to do what we need to do. I know how
Yeah.
it felt for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would never, and nothing I do. I just want to say this. I don't try to do or say anything that takes away from what mothers do and what mothers are.
Oh, definitely.
I
Oh
have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
yeah.
great
Yeah. Yeah.
respect.
yeah.
I have a great respect for what mothers bring to the table,
Hmm.
and they are very much needed. There's
Definitely.
no world without mothers. Obviously,
Mhm.
but at
Yeah.
the same time, I feel like they are giving they are given the benefit of the doubt all the time,
Hmm.
or not all the time, but most of the time they're given the benefit of the doubt, and it's like fathers are, just we're just made to look like we don't matter, and
Oh
then
yeah.
the biggest
That is
part
so
about it
true.
is when you see a bad kid running around or something like that, you might say, oh, who's that kid's mother? Who's that kid's
Mm.
father? Where's his father at?
Mhm.
Nobody's asking about, the kid's uncles or the kid's aunts or,
Hmm.
the judge in the family court case or the lawyer. Like, I wonder who represented that kid's mom. Like, nobody
Right.
cares about that. And so, a lot of times they say, well, these kids need their dads. Politicians say it, people on
Yeah.
TV say it, people, these kids need fathers. Where's our men at and all this stuff. And then,
Right.
when you got men like me, which there's a bunch of us out here who want to
Right.
be in our kids' lives, who, are taking that extra step to,
Right.
we got to go through all these hoops. And,
Mhm.
it's always like, well, just go to court. But people don't understand that this ain't natural, for us.
Right.
We don't, like, where is this? Like, there is no manual for parenting, but where is this in the manual of parenting that,
Right.
like, we supposed to go to family court. We supposed to know how to talk to a judge. We supposed to know how to fill out this paperwork. We supposed to know how to keep our composure,
Mhm.
when we in this setting. Like, how was that? That's not part of fatherhood. Like, when we was
Yeah.
growing up watching movies, we see kids playing baseball, doing homework and stuff like that with
Right.
their dads. And
Mhm.
then now it's like what I say now is being a father, being a good father means you got to have a junior law degree. You got to
Yeah.
know how to go to court, or else you ain't gonna get no rights. And people gonna say, well, you must not care about your kids because you ain't going to court. But like, who
Mhm.
wants to go to court all the time? And why
Yeah.
do
Hmm.
I have to go to court in order to see my kids? So
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
the sad part is that, like, once a relationship end, why don't just go towards the father? Why it got to be always the mother get the children and then the father just get thrown and tossed off? Like, why is it that the father's not just as important as the mother?
because you can make a lot of money. I mean, like, they make a lot of money off of our families being separated, and
Mm,
the mother is the most valuable option most of the time. So
mm,
um my problem with that is, so they take the father and the child, and they separate them, and they leave
mm.
him with the mother. So
Right,
then, but then the mom might have a boyfriend. The
right.
mom might have her brother or her
Mm-hmm.
dad or whoever. So it's not that you want to keep him away from men. It's just the dad.
Right.
Because a lot of times they'll say, well, and they've said this to me in court. They say the kid is too young, or it's going to be too much of a shock in his or her routine. It's going to break
Right.
up their routine and stuff like that. But let's
Mm-hmm.
just be honest for 1 second. If we had a mother who was taking her kid to different family members' houses every day because that's
Mm-hmm.
the best she could do, she had no steady daycare, but she took them to wherever she could.
Right.
People would say, "Oh, this mom is doing the best she can. She's a
Yeah.
superhero. She's doing this and doing that," which I agree
Right.
with. But at the
Yeah.
same time, how you going to say a dad is going to ruin his kid's routine?
Right.
So they
That
actually said
doesn't.
that to you?
Yeah, they told me I would interrupt his current
His
routine.
routine.
Your own
Yeah.
Wow.
child. Like,
The court.
what
So
type
let
of
me tell you
stuff?
how it starts, right?
The court. Really? I'm sitting here in shock because I'm like, really?
You know what made me think about that before you start, Derek, is that it's a way of making young boys and girls at a point of, especially black kids, in a way of going into crime and all of that stuff. Getting
Not even that. Just making them feel having, even if the parents are not together, at least if you could co-parent, if you can have both the mother and the father where they both raising a child, even if they're not together, this, it makes a difference. I'm from a single mom until I was 14.
right.
Then I had my stepfather who's my father,
Mm-hmm.
and that made me the man I am today.
Right.
But you had your mother and your father your whole life, so your
Right.
life was a little bit different than
Right.
mine.
Right.
It just makes a difference
Mm-hmm.
to just make it, because a woman can give a child, even a girl with a woman can give the child what the father can give, that the other aspect of what a father can give.
Right.
Would you agree
And
with that,
vice
Derek?
versa.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
vice
I'm saying, like, if it was yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah,
But see, she's already getting them, so that's what I mean.
yeah,
Like, so I'm not
yeah.
counting the woman because she's already got the child, but to
So
take the
the
child away
dad,
from the father. Go ahead.
for dads, like with my son, there's so many different things, that I see that he do, that
Right.
I do, that
Right.
come from me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's times where, like, I'm looking at him, and it's like I'm looking at myself, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to understand, like, why wouldn't you want me to be around him? You know,
Yeah.
it's like I got other children, so
Mm-hmm.
with me being from Philadelphia, obviously all my family's there. I went back to Philadelphia earlier this year, and I wanted to take my son, but my
Right.
ex, she had all these different complaints and all these different things that she
Mm.
wanted to throw in the way. So
Right.
instead of taking my oldest, I took my youngest, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter. My daughter was only one when we went. Well, she's still one, but she had just turned one.
Yeah.
We went, no problems. Everything was good. We made it back safe. So when we did that, I contacted my ex, and I told her, I said, man, we just went to Philly. I took my daughter. Everything was cool. You know, like, won't you let me take her? And it's
Right.
still a no. It's still, I don't trust you. I don't know what you're gonna do. It's like all these different weird fears that she got. That, like, what am I gonna run away with him and leave
Right.
everybody else? Like, what? I don't understand. What do you?
Right.
Like, and the crazy thing about it is that, I work in the school district last year.
Right.
Technically, I still do work for the school district. I work for a foster care agency right now. It's
Okay.
Okay.
like
Okay.
it's like I can work with all different kinds of kids in this
Right.
state. I work with learning loss kids.
Mm.
I work with kids who have different forms of functionality, low,
Right.
high, all different kinds of kids.
Mm-hmm.
High school to kindergarten.
Right.
I'm married. I got my two kids. I got my son and my daughter.
Right.
I'm with them every day of the week. My wife go
Mm-hmm.
to work. I'm with them.
Right.
The only kid that I have trouble seeing is my oldest son.
Mm.
But I see everybody else kids though.
Right.
It's
Man.
just this one kid, and it's like we go to court and they leave all the power to her, and she don't work with me at all or nothing. She don't co-parent. We don't come to no agreements on nothing. It's I said it and leave it at that. And the court,
That's awful. That's really awful because the mother, because if the mothers get out their feelings, no matter what you and the person you was with had issues, don't bring the child into it. Like, think about the best interest for that. Like, he needs his father just like he need you.
That's what he said earlier, bro.
Yeah,
He
that's what I'm
said,
saying about. I'm just
but
saying, like,
in the child's best interest, which is
mhm,
never is.
it never is. Yeah, that's the sad
Yeah, they
part.
should say it's in the mother's best interest.
and so look,
Yeah.
so what I was telling you about that, about like the best interest stuff, like
Mhm.
so what happens is, so let's say you got a situation for whatever reason, you and the father and the mother are not together,
Right.
throughout the pregnancy or when the mother gives birth.
Hmm.
So, all right, so the child is born. I didn't know nothing about my son being born. I
Wow.
knew it was coming up, but I didn't know when it was. And
Right.
actually, I had got the way me and her broke up was like I had got real sick. I had
Okay.
got diagnosed with heart failure.
Oh
Right.
wow.
Right.
And she
Okay.
was pregnant at the same time. So
Mm.
you know how they say like when somebody gets sick in a relationship, that's when
Hmm.
things really start to, that's when you really start to see what's what.
Right.
And our relationship went to shambles after that, after I got sick. So we was living in Texas. She left, came back here, and I was drinking a lot. Like I was sick. I was depressed. They told me I was at risk for sudden cardiac death. So I
Wow.
was like in like a really dark place at that time. And I
Right.
started drinking really bad. And so she left. And a little while after she left, I went to rehab. I put myself in rehab for
Hmm.
90 days.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
while I was in rehab, I had therapists call her to try to work things out with her in any kind of way, and the lawyer too. She
Right.
she, she refused to speak with either one. So
Mm.
by the time my son was born, I had no contact with her. I didn't know anything. When I left the rehab, I was trying to get in contact with her, over the phone, and she wouldn't
Right.
answer.
Hmm.
So one night I was just sitting around, just thinking, and I typed in my ex's name on Google. So,
Right.
uh, a baby registry popped up for her.
Wow.
So
Mm.
I clicked on the baby registry, and it was all boy stuff. That's how I found out I was having a son.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
Sheesh.
And I was sad,
Mercy.
Wow.
but I was
That's
excited at the same time.
wow.
It's
So
mad and upset and
so
excited at the same time. You said.
yeah, I was, because I was disappointed, but I was hyped too.
Yeah.
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 But
Wow.
so what they do is, so all right, so by the time you get in the court, right? Like, let's say you don't know what's going on, you could be trying to call and see what's going on. I don't know how you find out about the kid then, but the way most of us find out is through child support. Child support will
Right.
send you a letter letting you
Mm-hmm.
know that somebody is saying that you're the father of this child, and
Mm-hmm.
here's what we've been paying in WIC so far, and this is what you owe us.
Oh wow.
Or you could take the DNA test if you disagree. So
Mhm.
luckily for me, I didn't find out that way because I kept calling. I kept
Right.
calling her phone. I was blowing everybody's phone up. And eventually they said, let's just answer the phone for this guy because he's gonna keep calling. But,
Yeah.
I was able to get in contact with her. But let's say I never made that contact, and let's say child support. She had just got the paperwork right before I had made it up there. So when I got up there, we was on good terms at that time because I was doing everything she wanted me to do because I
Right.
wanted to see my son. So I'm
Mm.
driving up from Texas to Kansas, and I'm spending time at her dad's house, and I'm chilling with my son, and I'm being on my best behavior because I'm not saying no slick comments, no nothing, because I know first thing wrong I say, I could be kicked out and never allowed back in. So
Wow.
for that period of time, my tail was tucked between my legs because I wanted to
Wow.
see my son. And
Wow.
so she was happy with me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And when that child support paperwork came in, she said that she didn't want any back child support. But
Oh,
that was
cool.
the only reason. Like it's as much as checking a box. All she had to do was check a box. If she would have checked that box, I'd have owed a couple more $100 in child support. But because she was
Wow.
happy with me at that time, I was good. So by the
Mm-hmm.
time you get to court, let's say the kid is about 8, 9, 10 months or whatever, same age as my son was.
Right.
So now, for these past whatever so months, your child has been with aunt, uncle, while the mom works, whatever situation they've been having. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll say, well, that's the child's current routine, and that's what the child is used to. This is who the child knows. We don't want to interrupt what the child has been doing so far. So
Right.
it's like, so dad, yeah, we know that they specifically left you out, but there's nothing we could do about it.
Mm.
Mm.
And so you just continue. So then that's how they slow roll you. That's how they give you every other week or just every weekend. But my
Right.
problem with that was, think about it. If you go to somebody who house you don't know. Let's say you start a daycare.
Right.
Sorry about that. Let's
No,
say
no
you start
problem.
daycare. Let's say you start daycare with your kid. You send your kid to daycare, you might do 1 or 2 meetup play dates or whatever. But after
Right.
that, your kid is there 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, whatever. So why
With a
is it me
stranger.
as a dad? Why I'm getting slow? Why I'm getting slow road?
Mm-hmm.
Why I gotta do every other weekend first? Why you start me off slow? You ain't starting this daycare off slow. They going
Right.
every day to the daycare. Can I at least get 5 days, 8 hours a day?
Right. Oh my goodness.
But they don't want you to. It's like, and then they'll tell you, like, so then the thing is, they'll tell you no, but they won't tell you how you can get there, what
Right.
you can do to get better, what you can do. And the reason why they won't tell you is because there is nothing you can do to get better.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Because either you're already there and they just BSing you, or they just have no intentions on allowing you to get any more time anywhere.
It's messed up how the
I
system is set up.
the but the system is unfortunately it's totally set up for the woman. So like what you was just saying there. So like say if you never even knew and she put you down as the father, and then it's on the birth certificate. Is it still law like once your name is on the birth certificate, they could, even if you're not the father, they could still make you pay child support, right? That
Well,
still happens.
the weird part about that is, I think they can put your name on the birth certificate, but I don't. But they can't sign for you.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
not really sure exactly how that works, but
Right.
that don't even matter. This is the worst part about it. So look, they don't even have to put you on their birth certificate.
That's true.
They can leave you off of that, but they put your name on that child support work,
Mm-hmm.
on that government paperwork. That's
Mm-hmm.
what counts. You don't
Yeah.
have to be on that birth certificate, and they don't have to put you on it. They could purposely leave you off and still put your name on that government paperwork and still get everything they want coming to them.
Right. And then
There's
some
no,
woman is just sitting there and you get a letter in the mail talking about your child support. You're like, for what? You
yeah.
gotcha.
But see, this is the thing. You put my name on that child support paperwork, but you ain't put my name on his birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't put my name anywhere in his name. Like I said, I had to fight to get my last name put on there.
Right.
His initials are based off of the rest of your family's initials.
Mm.
I mean, like, I went to the doctors for him one time.
Right.
Showed up to the
Mm-hmm.
doctor's office early before him and his mom got there. before him and his mom got there, and
Right.
and I went up and I tried to check him in. I said, I'm his dad, here to check him in, whatever. And they asked me a name if I was this name.
Right.
The name that they asked me was my son's grandfather.
Mm.
Mm.
How you know that name? Oh, because he's the emergency contact. So I can't even be
Wow.
my own son emergency contact.
Mercy.
Why is your dad my son's emergency contact?
Mm.
Mercy.
Why is it when it's going to come time for somebody to sit with him while you go do whatever you got to do, it's somebody else. But then as soon as it come time, oh, there's a medical bill, I'm the person you call. When we go to
Mhm.
court, there's a medical bill, I'm the person that's supposed to be called. When it comes to child support, my name is on the line. If I don't pay the child support, which I haven't, and I'll tell you why.
Right.
But when it comes to the child support, if you don't pay that, then you're the one that got to go to jail. Not these other people, but these other people is the one that get to see him. These other
Right.
people are the ones who get to, like they get more rights than me. Like they helped her choose his name. They
Right.
helping her choose what school you go to. I'm not going to get any say in that unless I take
Right.
it up to court, which I'm trying to do now. But then
Right.
you got to pay to take them to court. You got to pay to get a lawyer. I'm going pro se. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, it's just very difficult. Like they try their best to keep you down, but uncles, granddads, cousins, friends, whoever else, she can
Mm-hmm.
leave them with whoever else, and leave me out the picture.
Gotcha. You said you made a quick comment just there. You say you're not paying child support, but you'll say why.
Okay, so this is why I don't like paying child. I mean, I do pay child support, but I don't like paying child support. And for a
Mm-hmm.
minute, I didn't pay it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying it now. The reason why I don't like paying child support is because I feel like I'm paying you to keep my son away from me. It's like
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, like growing up, I used to hear people say, well, this kid's dad want him to do this or want him to do that, but you're not willing to come and pick him up. You're not willing to come and enforce it. So you can't be making calls, you know. So with me, I want to see my son more often.
Right.
I want him at my house. So like a lot of people say, well, the reason you pay child support is because the kid is at the mom's house running up the light bill, or eating food out the fridge, or we got to pay this, we got to pay that. I got to pay for the kid to live and all this and that. Well, he could be at my house living. He could be at my
Right.
house eating food and running up the light bill and
Mm-hmm.
running up the water bill and all that stuff. I don't want to pay for your light bill. I don't want to pay for your rent,
Right.
especially when you making it more difficult for me to see my son. Why should I
Right.
be paying your bills?
Right.
About we do 50-50. He's at both of our houses half of the time. I pay my bills, you pay your bills.
Right.
I mean, now I can see now it'd be different if I wasn't willing to see him throughout the week, pick him up
Mm-hmm.
from school and all this and that. I was only willing to do weekends. Then yeah. And you know what? Another thing about it is if it wasn't for child support, she could probably get more money out of me than child support would
Mm.
because
That's true.
I'm more than willing to be there for my son, and I want him
Right.
to live in a good environment at his mom's house. So if she be
Right.
like, hey, I need to get a washing machine or something like that, I'd have had no problem trying to help her get a washing machine. But
Right.
now that you put me on paper and telling my son bad things about me, and you making it difficult for me, and you making me pay lawyer fees and all this and that, I can't even do nothing for you now anyway, even if I wanted to.
Right. Right.
So I
Mm.
think that a lot of women need to realize if you got a dad who's willing to be there, he wants to be there, he's trying to be
Right.
there, willing to
Mm-hmm.
pay, don't put him on child support because a lot of times you can get more, when you're not doing child support. Because once you put us on child support, now it's like, all right, well, that's all you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know some people are gonna say that's messed up, but knowing I went to that same thing, I know exactly what you mean, and you're right. Um, not being on child support was freer to because it just made you more free to be like, okay, let me try to help more. But when you already,
Yeah,
when you know you need that money taken out your check every week, you look at your check and you're like, man, like, and I never thought of it like that. Like, I'm paying child support not to see my child. Like, you're like, man, and then you like, this, well, I already gave you the money, so what more do you want? Like, it it's just human nature. But I think people got to realize that sometimes it's better just to try to work it out and just make it work,
that's
because it,
all I'm
like you
saying.
said, 50-50, because it does work better that way when you
Even for the
both can
child.
when you
Yeah.
both can do for the child,
Mm-hmm.
and then just because you're doing it for the sake of the child. Like we always say, a child is not a mistake. A child is a blessing of God.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? With that in mind, then let's do what we can for this child. This child didn't ask to be here.
Right.
So now let's do what we got to do, to make
But
sure
the
this
part,
child has everything
but
that he needs or she needs.
one of the other parts about it is though, like we got some men who pay crazy amounts of child support,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
but so they say, the mom is the best interest, right? But
Mm-hmm.
how are you in the best interest if I got to pay thousands of dollars in child support?
Mm.
I mean, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, do you have any financial support? I mean, if you're the best interest, then tell me how is it that you are the best interest? So,
Right.
family court is difficult, but that's why I started the Hug a Dad Foundation. We're trying to put together different programs for dads to give them help on going through family court, but also we're trying to put together programs that you know help people get jobs. Um,
Right.
we're trying to help with the youth that are in these juvenile facilities.
Right.
We're trying to populate the social work field with more men because we need men in these fields.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we need better pay. These
Right.
fields don't pay that well for these men. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times these men don't go into these jobs, and now these kids don't get that male interaction that they need within the
Right.
school, social work
Mm-hmm.
systems, and all of that. They're not getting that male interaction. They're not
Wow.
getting that tough love that's needed.
Right.
So a lot of times it's like, and then like when you got in these social work fields, it's like, how can I convince a young dude to go straight if I'm only making $14 an hour? I'm barely making it, but the
Mm.
dude, but the dude who he know on his block, he sell drugs and he living pretty nice. Who you think he gonna listen to? It's
Yeah.
not gonna
Yep.
be me. It's gonna be that dude who living nice. So
Right.
we
Mm-hmm.
have to incentivize, like you gotta, and then as men, we supposed to be leaders of our household. You
Right.
know, I might not can't be a leader in my household at $13 an hour.
Mm.
I might need a little bit more money. I might got a wife, a couple kids, which I do have.
Right.
I need more than just this little bit of money. I need something to where I can take care of myself, to where I could tell this young dude, hey, look at me, I'm living decent. Like, you don't have to, go and do all the things that you in the streets. So that's why we're trying to put together a trade program where we teach the
Mm.
youngins some trades, and like especially these young people that's aging out of the foster care system, uh,
Right.
instead of just aging out without a job, without a home, without skills. We
Mm-hmm.
prepare these young people for the time when they age out. And so by the time they age out, they got a skill. Maybe they
Right.
need to go to a transition home for a few months to get on their feet.
Right.
We trying to provide these things for these young people, especially
Mm-hmm.
like now, like, the foster care system is jacked up, and it can be depressing at times.
Right.
So we got to do something to be there for the young people, because as grown-ups we always say, like, the youth don't show no respect, they don't have no respect. But what are we giving these youth to respect?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A lot of times I walk past young people, and I've had to get better at it. I've been working on it most recently, but I walk past young people, sometimes I don't say nothing to them. Like, and all it takes is just to stop and talk for a second. Like, I was working in the school, I stopped and talked to a few young people, and
Mm-hmm.
it worked wonders for them. It meant the world for them, for me to just give them some advice that they could use.
Right.
So we gotta be there for our young people, or else we talking about they don't give us no respect. but
Right.
we ain't give them none to respect.
Mm,
True. That is
mercy.
so true. I saw did you run for council or you ran for a city?
Yeah, I
I,
did. I ran for city council in the 6th district of Wichita, Kansas. Um, I wanted to put what I thought was important to our city on display.
Right.
I felt like I'm looking at these numbers, and the numbers behind most of these different social ills, people who rape people, people who commit crimes, mental
Hmm.
illness, mental health illnesses, young people in juvenile facilities, people who steal cars, people who do this, do that. Most of the reason that these things are going on is because of fatherlessness. The reason
Mm,
why more kids drop out of high school, fatherlessness.
yeah.
So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to use my platform not just to legislate on things, but to bring influence. To say like, hey, we need more men working in these schools. We need more
Right.
fathers working in these schools because
Hmm.
your kid ain't gonna cut school if you work at the school,
hmm,
or
Right.
if
you're
you
right.
know the teachers at the school, if you involved, if he know or she know, my dad know the teachers, my dad know this, if I cut school, I'm gonna be held accountable for that.
Right.
They're gonna have their butts in school because
Hmm.
they know that you are attentive to what's going on, and we're not in our neighborhoods like we should be. We're not minding these kids' businesses like we should be. We should be more
Yeah.
in the
Yes.
mix. We should be, spending more time, not just trying to, tell them what they're doing wrong, but we should be, playing with them, having more fun with them, going to the park, playing basketball. Like we were trying to put together a
Right.
program where we go to the juvenile facilities to play basketball with them.
Hmm.
So we got to start doing that, but we also got to put them on the platform. Like instead of it just being, a group of community leaders and you see a bunch of old dudes up there, we need to start seeing some 15-year-olds on that stage, some 16-year-olds, because all this time we talking for them, they not getting the opportunity to talk for themselves. So
Right.
we completely missing the point because we older, we think that because and I do this too. I think because I was a teenager, 15 years ago or so, that I can relate to what they went through. I know I'm old, but I can't relate to what they went through, to what they
Hmm.
going through. I
Hmm.
can't just say, it's the same because it's not. It's different.
Right.
So we need to just get more men in our community out into the streets, out into these community centers, talking to our kids, talking to our youth, letting them know that somebody cares, letting them know that they are valued and important. They could do a trade, they could provide a service to the community. They're valued, they're needed. People ask them questions. Those type
Mm.
of things I feel like matter.
Yeah.
So we gotta, but we gotta have people that's willing to do it. A lot of these politicians aren't willing to, legislate on these things because
Yeah.
I can come up and talk until I'm blue in the face with a lot of great ideas, but if I can't match the money that somebody else gave you, I'm probably not gonna get nowhere with you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Hmm.
So we need to click up and create our voter our voter block of people
Right.
who agree with fatherhood. People who vote for legislators who agree on fatherhood.
Hmm.
So what I ran for city council, I just wanted to put these ideas out there. I just wanted to put these things in play that I felt like would help. We got a homeless problem going on in our city that's very bad. Uh,
Right.
I feel like some of the situations we spend money on incorrectly, it's just different things. So I put my I put my ideas up there. I didn't win, but I learned a lot. Um,
Right.
I worked out some fears, like some public speaking fears, and
Right. Right.
who knows? I might run again for a different seat, but it was definitely a great learning experience.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you don't know unless you try, dude. Like you gotta try. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you become.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, by you doing that, like you said, you can always run again for something else and you have more you have a better
Opportunity.
opportunity to do better because you know, okay, I did this last time, didn't work. I could do this now,
Yeah,
and you know, and then you can
and
get
that's
your
what.
word out. Because, like you said, you know, they say money talks. You
Yeah.
know, if you don't got the money,
Nah,
then
yeah.
you can't even get you can't even put your foot in the door sometimes if you don't got the money.
You know these people who own these private prisons, man. They millionaires, billionaires sometimes.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
definitely.
so it's nothing for them to give up. You know, a couple thousand to somebody, 50,000 or whatever. Now here I
Hmm.
come. Now here I come talking about numbers and positivity and stuff. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
No.
Mhm.
You know,
Of
I'm
course
about to
not.
go. I'm about to go get this new Maybach. I'm about to buy or something like that. I don't know.
Wow. They just want to see the
Do
black
you
man in jail.
do you think like the prisons and stuff are just as bad as the family court because they just trying to keep the dad or the man down because they don't want them to succeed either? It's like they just, you know, it's because like you put plain and simple, just like you said, family court prisons is all about making money. The more prisons they have, the more money they make.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
I mean for sure. And if you keep fathers out the picture, I
Yeah.
mean that's where a lot of these young people go to when they don't have dads. I mean, and when they don't have parents. Period. But
Yeah.
right,
a lot of
Yeah.
times, you know, you got these single moms, and you know they're not. Maybe they working a whole lot. Maybe they don't know how to handle this young boy. You know, maybe they don't know what to teach him. And
Right.
you know, you could be as hardcore as a mom. You could be stern. You could be strict or whatever. But at the end of the day, you still a mom.
Yeah.
hmm
You're still a woman. You still
You
do
said a lot.
things. You still do things womanly like. You
hmm
Right.
know, and you know it's just like, you know, I just went to the swimming pool with my family, with my wife and you know my 3 kids, and
Right.
you know my oldest son was saying to my wife, you know, you don't want to get your hair wet. You don't want to get your hair wet. You know that's things like that you learn from, you know, being with your mother,
Yeah.
which is fine, but there comes a time where especially as a young boy, you know too much, you know, because you've been spending too much time with your mom. You
hmm
know, you need to learn those things. You need to. There's a lot of things that you need to learn from your dad. I'm talking about how you walk, you know, your mannerisms, how you talk. Like my son copies a lot of things from me. When we walk in and I walk up to somebody and I say, you know, I greet them, he'll greet
Right.
them the same way that I greeted them.
hmm
Wow.
So that's how, like, you know, we teach our kids how to talk mostly by the way we talk to them and the way we talk to others. If
Right.
Right,
my
definitely.
son, if my son, you know, if I tell my son, you know, if I say to my son things aggressively, if I say, you know, if I use cuss words when I'm talking to him, you know, I can expect that's how he gonna talk to other people
That's the
because
Yep.
truth.
Yeah.
he gonna think if my dad is talking to me this way, this is how I talk to other people.
Hmm.
hmm
Or
That's
if I
facts.
see if I see my dad talk to people this way, then this is how I'm supposed to talk to people.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we set the standard on how our kids talk, and then
Definitely.
you know when our kids is cussing up a storm, we say you wasn't raised like this.
Right.
That's the
I
way
Wow.
you
just
talk
noticed
around
something.
him.
I
So
just thought,
that's what he picked up. So my
Yeah.
son now talks to me the way I talk to him.
right. I was gonna say, I just noticed something. What you just said. You left one important piece out. As a father, we teach our sons how to treat a woman.
That's
So,
very true.
so that's how your son will learn how to treat a woman by the way you treat your wife. Because,
That's
like you
very
said, they
true.
mimic everything. They mimic everything, and it even goes for the girls. The girls will grow up and say when they meet a guy, if the guy's not treating the way I treated my wife, the girl's gonna say, nah, you're not the one for me because that's not how I. That's not the rule. That's, you know, so that's where as a male we have a lot to do when it comes to the raising of our children,
Right.
Yeah.
because that definitely will help with your children when they get older. Just like you said, I with everything you said, I agree completely. Like I tell my son, when you walk in, you gotta say good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, or no, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. We don't play that because like I hear in the UK, they're not always the best, you know,
Kids.
mannered kids. And a lot of times they meet our kids and they're like, "Oh, they're so well mannered." I'm like, "Yeah, because they know better." Like my wife from the South. My father's from the South. I'm from Bermuda, but I grew up in New York. We don't play that. So
Yeah.
like you're exactly right when you talk about that. But I just want to point that more than
Yeah.
anything else, they definitely will learn how. Like your son is learning how to treat a woman because the way you treat your wife, like you said, like the way you talk to her, the way you interact with her, he'll say, this is how I should interact with a woman when I'm dealing with her.
Yeah.
So it teaches them that
And
respect. That
that goes into part of what we want to teach dads and stuff, because a lot of dads like me, I didn't grow up with a consistent man in the home.
Right.
So, how do I learn how to de-escalate arguments? How do I know exactly what a husband's supposed to do? Because
Right.
I'm still learning, what a husband, what being a husband entails. I've only been
Right.
married since October of last year, so there's no way I know what everything I'm supposed to do. And I talked to
Right.
other dudes that's been married for a while, and some of them say, they still learn, or they learn every day, or they learn new stuff, or you know,
I know we are.
We're 17 years into our marriage. What day were you married in October?
I was married October 21st.
Okay,
Okay.
we're October 3rd.
I mean
Yeah.
23rd. Matter of fact, don't
Okay,
get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm only asking because we're actually October 3rd, 2005.
He better get it right because your wife may be looking at this podcast later.
Yeah, but
It's
we're
October
October.
23rd.
Okay, so 20 days later.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got married. We got married. And I mean, I've been learning every day. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I learned from my dad's groups, different things. Like there's some things that just, I don't understand. And
Hmm.
I go and talk to my dad group. They don't understand it neither, but they know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
They know how to.
I got that one. Did you get that,
I
Tom?
did. It just like
I got that one.
They
Definitely.
don't know how to deal with it neither, but they know how to work with it. They know how to work around it.
Right.
They know how not to escalate it. They
yeah.
know how not to make it worse. Because
Oh
a
yeah.
Yeah.
lot of times we don't understand, and
Yeah.
sometimes when what's not understanding, we'll make it worse.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
just don't make it worse. That's the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
And
'Cause,
sometimes, no matter what you do, the problem is just gonna be there. It's how you handle the
yeah,
problem. Is how you respond to the problem.
Yeah.
but
It's
that's
paying attention. It's just paying attention. Sometimes just listening and paying attention can go a long way in a relationship with communication.
I'm
but you
saying we
know what?
still learning that.
But you know what? You're only going to do that for somebody that you care for.
That's
Yeah, definitely.
say that
You're not
again.
You're
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
do that for. You're not going to go through all this stuff. So, and that's what, and then so that's what I'm saying. Like we got to learn how to stay together, man. Because
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely.
when these trials and tribulations show up, we be so ready to just be done.
That's just a
And
new generation, though. That, like you said, us growing up as teenagers was a totally different beast than what we have now.
Well, you have a counsel society now where they'll counsel you so quick. You know what I'm saying? When things just ain't going right or that they
yeah,
don't like something,
Yeah,
they be ready to throw you to the wolves fast.
yeah,
that's
you done. You done for it.
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, then I just find somebody that will agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
much.
for sure. And it's like with marriage, it's like, man, it's work every day.
Say
Every
that
minute.
again. Hmm.
Um, it's work every day on both sides. I mean,
Yep.
it's like I've learned so much, man, and man. Hey, Pedro, we get the short end of the stick a lot of times, but
No comment.
But you know what?
I'm sitting next to my wife, so
But
no
you know,
comment.
what I'm learning, what I'm learning as a wife is to be more submissive. You know what I'm saying? Letting my husband lead, letting him do the things. 'Cause I know for me, sometimes I'm like
hey,
this. I'm like
hey,
this sometimes.
can you amplify your mic? Like we need.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, I need you to get like a blowhorn and say that.
You know, being submissive sometimes for some women, I think I'm learning. I had to always be like, this is gonna be my way or no way. Not listening to my husband, even though he's speaking, I'm really not listening. I'm not comprehending anything he's saying. And I
Man,
think
Derek, you got her to say stuff she never said before.
no, I just think sometimes I'm learning to do that and be
Mhm.
better at that because I know it'll cause us to. We just sit and talk. I listen to what you're saying and actually listen without, what I'm saying, already knowing what you think.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm
We just had
learning.
that conversation.
We just
Didn't
had that
we?
conversation.
Mhm.
So
Listening,
sometimes,
you just said you listen instead of listening to him, knowing what he think. That's like
right?
listening to respond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She's listening to me, but she's already had in her head what I'm really saying. So I
yeah,
could be
Yeah,
saying the
and she
sky is
already know
blue.
what she
In
gonna
her
say.
mind,
yeah.
right. In her mind, this is what he really meant to say. The sky is green.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's like we have to learn how to work through those things because
Definitely,
those are small issues that turn into really, really big
Biggest.
issues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really
Um,
fast too.
It's the little
and
things
then it
sometimes
gets
that
to
really cause the big issues. I'm sorry
Hmm.
to cut you off. I was saying it's the little things that cause
no,
big issues. The big stuff
yeah,
don't
and
even you can handle the big issues. You're like, okay, let's handle this. Boom. But it's just those little misunderstandings because
yeah,
emotions or misunderstandings or
And women
miscommunication.
are, we emotional people first
Yeah,
before we even
but I
think.
don't even think it's that. I just think sometimes as a woman, sometimes just once she has in her head that like she can have, oh, matter of fact, have a dream and be like, oh, that's what I dream. I just know
yeah,
something's wrong. And I'm like, ain't
yeah,
nothing wrong. You're like, I know something's wrong. I don't care what something's wrong because I wouldn't have that dream. Whenever I have dreams, something it means something. And I'm
yeah. You know what?
like,
They intuition, man. They
yeah.
intuition is so strong that
Mhm.
it could be right, it could be really wrong, but they gonna
Right.
go
Yeah.
with it because they
That is
feel like
so
it's
true.
right.
Mhm.
That is so true, Derek. Oh my goodness.
And
Only
you
because
know,
we just went through that recently. That's why I'm saying that to you.
That's why I brought up the dream.
and so that's what I'm saying. Like marriage, yo, like, and then it gets to the name calling. So then you start calling each other names. You start
Mm,
hitting below the belt and start saying stuff. Now it's like, oh yeah, we definitely ain't working this out because she said this, he said that,
Mhm.
wow.
man. Like, and then so we just break up, and we
And
break
then
up
that
our
and
families.
that causes the cycle that's why the family court is thriving because we just
And
we
I want
just
to tell you
continue that
something.
cycle. We just
I
continue
want to
that
tell you.
cycle.
I want to tell you what my oldest son told me. My oldest son told me that he don't like living in two houses.
Wow.
He's tired of living in two houses. It's too much.
Mm.
It's too much for him. And he's only 4 years old. He
Do
said,
we
Wow.
realize do we realize what our children really feel? Like, do we really take that in?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. It
And
affects
he,
them
he
more than
said
you
he
think.
said he's tired of living in two houses. Two houses too much for him.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. How did that
And
make
so
you feel when he said that to you?
it made me feel very bad, man, because it's like, man, I can imagine. I can imagine, you know, I could just
Mm.
imagine like living in two houses, having to go back and forth, especially for a kid.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's definitely tough when really all he want to do is see me and his mom in the same room together half the time. But we can't
Wow.
get there because I'm worried about her trying to find something to use against me.
Mm.
Mhm.
Because
Mercy.
that's what she usually do. Anything she
Mhm.
can get her hands on is going to be used against me. So I'm not trying to really be around you in certain places or in
Right.
certain areas, certain situations because I can't be comfortable around you. I
Right.
mean, if I say I'm going to be late for something, so look, all right. So this is one thing, right? Where you know people will make you out to look like a bad dad. It could be like,
Wow.
well, you don't even pick up your son on time. So like if I
Mm.
oversleep, it's like you don't even love your son enough to pick him up on time. But if I say the night before, if I say the night before, hey, I got something to do at the time when I'm supposed to pick him up, can I pick him up the night before or can I pick him up an hour or two early?
Right.
No, no, you can't. You pick him up at the time the court say. Well, then what if that time I'm a little bit busy, so now I show up a little late. Now it's you can't pick up your son on time.
Mercy.
Mhm.
Anything to make you look bad.
Yeah.
Anything,
Yeah.
anything. Like even me, I got pepper sprayed by my son's grandmother They pepper sprayed
Mercy.
me on a visit. And we went to court for that. And they said it was just a one-off. It only happened one time.
Really?
It took them like a year to get her into court. And once they got her in court, they only gave her an anger management class. Now, as soon as that anger management class was over, she started coming with my ex to the police station where I pick up and drop my son off at.
Right.
So I made that an issue. I'm like, yo, why is she here? She already attacked me.
Right.
I really don't want to see her if possible. Why is she here?
Right.
Well, she could be anywhere she wants. You know, it's a free country. It's a free world. You know, she
Mm.
ain't bothering you, all this and that. So I said, okay, well, since anybody can be anywhere they at, anywhere they want, can I come to your house right now, follow you to your house, and hang out with Kai some more? She said, yeah, go ahead. So I said, okay, cool. I'm about to go get in my car and follow y'all. As soon as I turned around, oh, police, he trying to follow us. He trying to follow us. So then they called the cop, flagged the cops down. Next thing I know, I'm in court. And I'm in court for protection from stalking order.
Mercy.
Wow.
So
Oh my goodness.
there's like, yo, at that time, my daughter was about to be born. So I didn't have time to be going back and forth to court for that. So I
Right.
just took the charge. I just took the PFA or whatever. They said, as long as you don't be nowhere near her, then you ain't got nothing to worry about.
So that
she's
means
still coming up.
she can't come. She can still come to the court, to the prison, to drop
She could
off.
still come up to the police station where I pick up and drop my son off at every week. She
But you're
still
not supposed
comes.
to be, but you're not supposed to be around her.
Hold on. Now listen, let me tell you something. I'm not supposed to be around her. She can be around me.
What? That
Exactly.
don't even make sense. That don't even make
Listen.
sense.
Listen.
Wow.
That's like
Listen.
saying don't come within 100 yards, but then she can come 50 yards in. But as soon as if she comes 50 yards towards you and you make one
You
step
better not
towards
step forward. You better not step now 1 foot forward. So
then
this is
you
how it works.
have now
Breached.
broken the law.
Now this is how it works, right? I was in there. There was a guy in there who had evidence that a woman was contacting him. He said, look, this is a text message, phone call, email. She called me. I got paperwork here. See it. All I did was call her back. And that's where you broke it. If you call back or you say something one time, you in breach. She can't break it. She can't break it. So in my case, this woman has been up to the police station. She's been up to my job when I worked at the school.
Right.
If I had to have my ex come and pick up my son up from my job, she's been up to my job. She's been up to my house in my driveway. But you got a protection from stalking order. So now I'm trying to work with the county to see how we can change these protective orders, because we got a lot of men getting these orders out against us. There's no evidence needed. Only thing you got to do is go up there and say it. You could, if y'all was here in Kansas right now, Tara, you can go up there and say, I need a protection from abuse order against Pedro. He hit me upside my head. You don't need no evidence.
Mercy.
You don't need no evidence. And the sheriff and all of them, they'll tell you, oh, they give these things away like candy. Well, why isn't somebody doing about it? Like, where's the legislators at? Where are all these people at? Where like, y'all just letting this go? So the Hug a Dad Foundation is dedicated to putting these issues on the front line. And that's why I said we got to have our voter block, because if we're putting these issues to the front line, these protective orders.
Hey, Derek, you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up. So repeat that one more time. You said the Hug a Dad Foundation, and then repeat what you said.
The Hug a Dad Foundation is dedicated to putting these issues on the front lines. Whereas, if that's why we're trying to create our voting block, because we put these issues to the front line, about family court, about protective orders, things that we would like to change about child support, whatever these issues are. And we put these up there and these people want to legislate on it, then we can pull our votes, make our votes transactional. Like I'm
Right.
an independent. I ran as an independent candidate. I'm an independent voter. If you're a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, whatever, but you're talking about changing these issues that fathers are facing, you get my vote. If you're not doing it, then you're not going to get my vote. And we need to start
Right.
getting to a point where we can pull our resources together to become our own voter block, our own community. Whereas
Right.
if you're not legislating for these issues, you are not getting this group of people's votes. And the bigger we become, the louder our voices and the more say so we can have. We either got
Right.
to have money or we got to have numbers.
Mm.
In
Either
order to
one.
be heard, we need
Yeah, that's
either
true.
one, preferably both.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what the Hug of Dad Foundation
Like,
is
you
about.
be lucky if you get one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, I mean, just being truthful, being real. And I mean, just we'd be lucky if we get one. But you're right, we need to be
yeah,
better. As men, we need to pull together and get out our feelings and just get it, put that work in and
yeah,
try to help each other. We gotta help, like you was talking, or like help the young people. Like,
yeah.
just
Like
explain to these people.
and so when I talk to young people, I always tell them, choose somebody to have babies with that you're gonna get married to. Don't just be like,
Dang
oh yeah, I want to have kids. Like people
Season.
say that, like I want to have kids, but they ain't even thinking about getting married. It's just kids. Like I can
it.
see
Yeah.
myself having kids, but I don't know about getting married. That should go hand in hand. If you
Right.
if you're talking about getting married, I mean, if you're talking about having kids, you should be, wanting to get married. You should be wanting to have kids with somebody who you could be with.
That's true.
That is so true.
That
Not
is
just
so
out here
true.
having
Yeah,
kids
just
and
I was just popping
listen.
our kids left and right.
And
Yeah.
that's why we got to talk to the upcoming,
Yeah,
generation. Make sure you have kids with somebody. Try your best to have kids with somebody you can stay with. And if you can't, try to work together because the family law system is going to get money off of your pain.
Yeah.
Like I
Definitely.
always said, the family court gets rich off of the family court. Like family lawyers, they take care of their families off of our dysfunction.
breaking up.
The family lawyers over there with their family, they good off of our
Right.
dysfunction. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we got to stop doing that. We got to try to resolve these situations ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to try harder.
Oh, definitely. So Huggadad is www.huggadad.com or
Well, right now I'm revamping the
Oh, you
website.
rewrapping it?
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to go with .com anymore. I want to switch to
Okay.
.org.
Well, if they just put Huggadad, they can look it up.
Oh yeah,
On
if you just
Facebook,
put
maybe.
Hug Dad, yeah, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and if
Right.
you put Hug Dad in on Google, like other interviews will show up that I've done
Yeah.
in the past, and I'm very easy to find. You can email me. My email is simple, huggadad@gmail.com. And
Right.
I've had
It is.
dads reach out to me, and I've helped them. I've helped a few get some better rights. And I've even gotten through to a mom who was keeping the kid away. I've even gotten through to her, and we still communicate to this day. So um, I like to think that I'm, doing my best and at least one small corner of the world, but I'm trying to make this corner good, and then I move on to another corner. And like I say, one family at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So
Definitely.
that's huggadad@gmail.com.
Yeah.
They can reach out to you that way.
Yep.
They can, like you said, they can find you by just putting Huggadad in Facebook, LinkedIn,
Yep.
Instagram, Twitter. I looked
Mhm.
up
All
all
that.
that stuff. I gotta go
Yeah.
follow you on some of the stuff. I'm bad with social media, believe it or not. I'm really bad when it comes to social
I
media.
am too, man. If anybody's watching, they'll like to help me run my social media page. I appreciate that because
That is
I'm
hard. It's a lot of work. I got my wife, so my wife handles it all. I even tell her I'd say, just take my phone and do what you got to do because I don't have time for it sometimes. I'm just like, I don't even want to
yeah,
look
I
at the
do
phone.
that sometimes. I do that
Yeah,
sometimes.
I'm
My
say,
wife.
hey, man, thank you. Just do what you
You're
got to do.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And before I go, one thing I want to
Yeah.
say is that as people, we have to try to just do better on all fronts. There is dads out there who are not in their kids' lives, and you know, we have to correct that because
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
our children need their fathers, and the ones
Agree.
who are the ones who are active. We need more men to be in the community. We need more men in social work. We need more men going into the social work fields, working in the schools. We need more men to be active to give these young people advice. All of the things that we've been through, we need to pass that knowledge down because
Yeah.
nobody else is doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to be the ones to do it. Like the Hug a Dad Foundation started out as a father's rights group. That's it. But in time,
Mm.
we're trying to grow to be a community resource for the entire family
Right.
because fathers are there to protect the family, protect the community. So that's how I want the
Mm-hmm.
organization to be. I want the organization to protect the families, protect the communities, and
Mm-hmm.
um, we gotta let these people know that we're serious about this. Like as a
Yeah.
dad, I'm serious about being a dad, and I'm serious about being a husband, and that's why I
Right.
put so much work into these things because they mean something to me. That's why
Right.
I'm still here, even though times get stressful with
Yep.
family court. With family
Mm-hmm.
court is stressful. With having a baby mom is stressful. Um,
Yeah.
you know, arguing with my baby mom and my wife on the same day is very stressful. You know,
I'm sure.
we gotta start to do better, and we gotta put ourselves in a better position. So, man, that's what Hug a Dad Foundation is all about: positivity.
Definitely.
Definitely, for sure. Definitely, because that's the only way that we're gonna make. That's the only way we're gonna beat this and break this cycle that we have going on right now. We got to break this cycle because
And
this is
so,
something going on since I was a teenager.
yeah, and if you would like to, like how we was talking about expanding Hug a Dad, man, listen, man, let's
Yeah,
do it.
I'm gonna have to sit down and think about that one. I'm gonna have to figure out because the rules here are a little different in the U.S.
Yeah,
So I would have to do some research on that one. But
even
definitely,
if we just, even if we just had some people out just to talk about like the thing that I don't want to get misconstrued is it doesn't have to be super complex.
oh
You
no,
know,
no, no.
just getting a few men or a few families together and just talking about, you know, um, staying the course, working things out between us. Even if things don't work out for us, we could work things out between us for our
Right.
family. You know,
Right.
um, just being that positive resource, just helping fathers, give some young men, some young couples the game,
Mm-hmm.
over time because that helps a lot. Like the help that I've gotten from my marriage has helped a lot. Like just those conversations. They
Yeah.
help us. We can learn from each other, and that's what we all about. Just let's just be able to be there for each other, help each other, teach each other. You know,
You're right.
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
we could definitely we can move. Our community can get better because a community full of broken families is not a good community.
I'm telling you, mercy.
It's not good at all.
Wow.
It's just
So
broken.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. Let's it,
Definitely. No, definitely. I'm gonna look. I'm thinking in my head right now about that. I'm definitely. I'm gonna definitely hit you up, and we'll
yeah,
have a
for
and,
sure, man.
and we'll
Let's do
definitely
it.
get some. Yeah, definitely. Because you made some good points on that one.
Let's do it, man.
Thank you so much for joining us, man.
No problem. I
Really enjoy.
appreciate it.
I'll be honest. I looked you up a little bit, but I wanted to get to know you, so I was like, I'm not even going to look you up. Like some people they do, like they look at the interviews. I looked at a couple of things, but I was like, I want to just talk to you and get to know you this way. And I feel like I got to know you really well in just a
Appreciate
short time
that.
that we've been talking, man.
Yeah.
You've been really helping us
Insightful.
understanding
Mm-hmm.
the family court system and stuff, and just some of the things that you're going through. I appreciate your honesty and your
Transparency.
transparency that you came through with, and telling us, how you feel. So we really do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. It's,
Yeah,
it's all
man.
about it's all about working through things.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
man, I appreciate y'all.
definitely, man. Cool.
So glad to know you now, Mr.
Yes,
Dereck
Yeah,
and we
Reynolds.
will definitely keep in contact.
Yeah,
yeah,
just to see how everything's flowing.
we will keep in contact. I want to, I've always wanted to come out to the UK anyway, so
Oh, well, if you ever come
maybe one
out,
day.
just hit us up. Clear
Yeah,
Please
out of
do.
interest.
yeah,
Definitely.
maybe one
Yeah.
day we could get together or something. Maybe we'll have
Oh, sure, definitely.
Hug a Dad event in the UK or something.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
cool. Yes, we
that
could do
sounds
that. Yeah, that
exciting
sounds
already.
exciting. Yeah, we need to make that
Yeah,
work out.
so let's do it, man.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, thank you,
definitely.
man. I appreciate y'all.
You're
All right,
welcome,
man.
Derek.
All right, have a good
Have a
day.
good evening, man. Have a good week.
You too, man.
All right. Bless. Yeah.
Wow. It's been
All
a
right. It's been a good one today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us.
yep.
As we said, that was Dereck Reynolds from Huggadad.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about the system. Now, a lot of it was based in the U.S. and a lot of it was based on why he started the Huggadad Foundation.
Right.
But I hope that you all were blessed by his testimony and what he talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We want to thank you all for joining us today.
Yep.
And as before we go, we just want to say that if you would like to donate to our podcast, to our ministry that we have going on, you can go into Cash App and you can do $ Real and Raw podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the US.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're in the UK, it's # Goddard's Land. And I think you can do either way.
Yeah, either one.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you go PayPal, you can go at Goddard's Ministry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's PayPal. And if you have any questions or concerns, or you just want to hit us up, or you want to come on a podcast, you can hit us up at thegoddessministry@gmail.com
Mm-hmm.
and hit us up and we'll get back to you. Or you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on the Goddess Podcast site, or you can go to our personal pages, which is Pedro Goddard for me, Senior. I think Pedro Goddard
Yeah.
Senior.
Mm-hmm. And Tara Sundberg got
Tara
it.
Sundberg Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go on the Facebook platforms and hit us up that way too. We're very accessible. We're very easy to get a hold of.
That's
So
right.
please reach out and let's have a conversation.
All right.
So we want to thank you all again.
Thank you.
My name is Pedro.
My name is Tara.
And this is the Goddess Real and Raw podcast. Oh, actually, let's pray. We didn't pray in the beginning, so let's pray now.
Let's pray for the fathers.
Yes. We should pray with him too.
Yeah, before he left.
Yeah.
But let's put him in the prayer.
We'll put him in the prayer. All right. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for everything that you have done for us, for showing us the wrong and the right that we do in our lives. We ask now, dear God, that you will continue to bless us. Be with the fathers out there, Heavenly Father, that are struggling to see their kids, or that may have an issue with their ex, that they may not be able to see the kid or do what they need to do for the kid as much as they want. We also ask, Heavenly Father, that you'll be with the woman involved, that you will soften our heart, or that whatever the situation may be, Heavenly Father, because we don't know, that you will allow them to raise the child together as best as possible, if it's in the best interest, and not even the best interest of the child. It is the best interest of the child that they raise them together. So we ask, Heavenly Father, that you will be with the couples out there and the families and the marriages and the relationships out there, Heavenly Father, that we can all just work this out so that our children can grow up to be strong, young Black men, or any color men that they may be.
Mm-hmm.
We ask, Heavenly Father, again, just to continue to bless us, watch over us as we start this week, each and every one of us, and be with us each and every morning when you wake us up and put breath into our lungs. We love you, Lord, and we thank you for everything. Continue to bless us each and every day. For this, I pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. And pray for Derek.
Oh, I did pray for it.
You did? I didn't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Pray for Dereck. My apologies. And we also ask that you pray for Dereck with his situation that he's going on with court, that he will be able to get some closure from it, that he'd be able to get some ending to it where it will be beneficial towards him and not towards the ex all the way. And we ask, Heavenly Father, that you just be with him and his family that he has now. Also, Heavenly Father, for this I pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Again, thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Pedro.
My name is Tara.
And this is the God of Drill and Roar
podcast.
Peace.
See you later.